Hey, what's up people of the internet, Jonathan is here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to make your first contribution to an open source project, how to make your first commit. And I remember when I started with open source, I didn't really know what to do. I was really confused and I didn't really understand what other people are trying to teach me. So after watching this video, you are going to make your first contribution on open source projects. You are going to understand how the industry is using Git in production environment, and I'm going to give you some tips I'm using on a daily basis as a software developer. I recommend you to follow step by step on what I'm doing on the video. Don't skip any part because it's very important for you to understand everything that is going on, so you're not going to make some crucial mistakes like I did, losing projects, losing codes, and losing a lot of changes I did. So Git is a code versioning tool to help you manage your projects, your versions. If you want to add new code, you can do that. If you want to go back and see old code, you can do that. If you want to work with a team, if you want someone to add code to your projects, you can do that. Now there are some other tools that are doing the same things, but we are going to be focused on Git. And I want you to understand that Git is just a tool. If you are going to see this website, GitHub is basically using the tool of Git. So if we want to contribute or do something with the projects that are on GitHub, we need to also use Git. So I'm going to dive deep into how to contribute, how to make your first commit, and it's going to be specifically for Android developers, but I'm going to also give you some commands that every developer is using on a daily basis. So basically this is a project I saw a few days ago and I was really interested to see what's going on in the project. It seems like a very professional project, something that I can see, something that I can maybe learn a few things about it, maybe add some new things to it. So first of all, we want to fork the project. We want to take the project and put it in our own profile, and we are going to see why we are going to do it. So it's going to clone it in a few seconds, fork it, and now we have the fork of the project. Basically everyone who wants to contribute to the project is going to fork the project. If you can see here, these are all the people that are forking the project right now and making changes. So as you can see, it's now in my profile. I have a project in my own profile that is forked from this project. We are going to make changes in this profile, in this project, and then we are going to commit the changes to the main project. Let's see how we can do that. So first of all, we are going to clone the project. We are going to take this link right here and we are going to clone it and basically take the project from remotely to your local machine. Now I like to do Git in the command line, and you can also do it on the IDE. For example, we have Android Studio and we have the command line. You can do the same things that you can do in Android Studio in the command line. And you can also use some other tools like SourceTree, which can help you do Git commands. Let's see how it works. And personally, I like more to use the command line because it gives me more control. I know what everything does. I know what to do if I'm stuck. And if I want to go back, I can do that. The IDE is also offering you those things, but there are some complicated things that sometimes you can't do in the IDE, and I prefer understanding what's going on behind the scenes and understand what everything is doing. I would at least recommend you to understand what things are doing on behind the scenes, and later on, if you don't want to use the command line, you can use the IDE instead. So first of all, we are going to clone the project. If you are using the IDE, you can do it here. You can basically check out project from version control, use Git and put the link in here and basically clone it. But we are going to use the command line, and basically every time you put a command for Git, you're going to write Git, the action and some parameters. So basically clone, we are going to clone this link right here. So we are going to press enter, and I already downloaded the project to save some time. So let's go to the project, and if we are going to see all the files in here, basically it's everything that's on the remote project. Now how do we open the project on Android? Basically we are going to open an existing Android project. If you used this option, it will open it for you. So let's go to the destination and choose the project. Now it will open the project for us. It's going to do some loading, importing some dependencies and building the project. so it might take a few moments. Now as you can see, we have all the project. Now we can make all the changes that we want. We can see the folders, everything is here, and we can also run the project. This is what we are going to do. You can see everything, you can see the layout, you can see practically everything. This is the code, this is the application, which is in my opinion pretty cool because now we can make some changes. So as you can see, this is the project. We can see everything in here. We can see all the activities, all the fragments, everything. This is, I guess, the main activity. So if we are going to go to here, we are going to basically see the main activity and we can make some changes. So as you can see, this is the exact main page that we see right here. Now, before we are going to make some changes, I want you to understand some things. Right now we are in the project, and if I'm going to write git branch, it's going to say master. What does it mean? In every Git project we have a lot of branches. We can have one branch, we can have multiple branches, but basically in your master branch all of your code is going to be there. This is the main place where your code is there. Basically when you work in a company, this is where your production code is, and this is where versions are going to go out to the users. So the best practice in the industry is everything that is on the master branch is going to production. Now, since we don't want to make changes on the master, we are going to create a new branch and we are going to make all the changes in this branch. Why we are going to do this? Because as I said, the master branch is for production. Every change that we are going to do is going to build a new version and is going to release it to the store. Now, every company is different. It's not going to just release it to the store in the first time, but it's going to release maybe an internal testing version, but we don't want to do it. We want to make the changes and then we want to release a version out when everything is completed. Now it's not that bad if you are working on your own project and if you are working on the master. It's fine if you are doing that, but it's better if you are going to develop the habit of not working on the master and creating sub branches that later again we are going to merge to the master. So let's see how we are going to do this. So let's say, for example, I'm going to create a branch and we are going to call it test. So basically what I'm doing here is git branch test. If we are going to watch the IDE, we can see git master. It means that master is our current branch, but we are going to create now a new branch. Now it created a branch. If we are going to type again git branch, you're going to see the test, but the one that is in green, this is the one that we are working on right now. We don't want the master, we want the test. Now as you can see, there are some commands here. There are a lot of commands in Git, and I admit that I don't know everything, and Git can be very confusing sometimes. But over time you are going to use the same commands, and with time you are going to understand them better. Now, if you are stuck on something, if you don't know what to do, you are going to search on Google. This is the best tool we have, Google, and after watching this video I hope that you will have the tools to know exactly what to search. And basically I'm using a few commands every day on a daily basis, and sometimes I need to do some complex things, maybe revert a new version or something like this, so I go and search on Google. Now if we want to go to the test branch, we are going to write git checkout test, and as you can see, switched to branch test, and we can see on the IDE also git test. This means that we are working on test. You can see here all the branches, you can see the local branch. Okay, so now that we are on the branch, we can make some changes. So what does it really mean to contribute to a project? Basically, you're going to download a project, clone a project, maybe find a bug, maybe a new feature that you want to add, and you are just going to work on it. This is basically what does it mean to make changes, to make contributions. And I made a whole video about it, you can watch it later, but basically you are going to clone a project and you are going to make a change. So for example, let's say I want to change this change status. So let's see where it is. As you can see, it's a fragment. So okay, filters fragment, as you can see, it's here. So let's say I want, instead of change status, I want to make it something else like test button. So now it's test button. This is the change, but as I told you, in your case you are going to make a real change. Maybe you are going to add a new feature, maybe fix a bug, and so on and so on. Now if we will go to the IDE and we are going to type git status, it's going to give us the status of the project. As you can see right here, we are on the test branch and we have changes that are not staged. It says that we modified this file, which is true. Now, what does it mean that we have changes that are not staged? It means that when we are going to push a commit, which means we are going to update the changes remotely, it's not going to update it because we didn't stage it to the commit. Now, I know that it might be a little bit confusing, but keep going, I'm going to explain everything. Now, it also tells us what to do. No changes added to commit. Use git add or git commit a. It tells us what to do, and this is what we are going to do. Now, if you are working on the IDE, you can see that also in here. You can see here default change list. You can see all the changes here. And instead of doing everything in the command line, you can just do it commit in here. You can just type your message and you can commit it. But I'm going to explain what a commit is, so don't worry. So let's do git add. So basically you can copy that and write it right here, or you can use the dot. The dot basically means git add all, git add everything basically. Now if we are going to write again status, you are going to see that now it's green. It means that it's now staged, and if we are going to push a commit, it's going to make our changes applied. So again, it gives us some clues if we need, if we want to unstage, if we want to go back to this this right here, we're going to do git reset add and the name of the file. So now we made a local change and we want to upload it to the machine remotely so others can see that. So after we added everything, now that everything is staged, we are going to create a commit. Now a commit is basically a snapshot of our project with the changes that we made. It saves the current state of the project, so later when we are going to push the changes, it's going to push them to the remote project. So let's see how it's done. Git commit m. You can write here a message. So all the changes that we did are going to be under test commit. We're going to press enter, and then it says this is the branch test, this is the ID of the commit, this is the message, and this is what basically we did. If we are going to press git log, we're going to see that this was the latest commit. This was in the origin master, this was in the remote project, and now this is in the local project, test commit. Remember, I did git log. So now we committed the changes in our local machine, but if we want others to see that, we need to push that to the remote project. So let's do it. How we do it? We basically do git push origin test. What does it mean? It means that push the changes to the project. Origin is the remote project in branch test. We're going to do that. And now it's uploaded all the changes that we've done. Let's see that on the remote project. So as you can see right here, less than a minute ago, we made a change. If you are going to go to branches, you are going to see our branch, yours test. So now we uploaded the change to our project remotely. But as I said, we forked the project, so we now want the changes to be applied on the real project, the project that we forked. How we are going to do that? We have two approaches to do it, but they basically the same. Pick the one that is more comfortable for you. So as you can see, create a pull request for test on GitHub by visiting this link. It tells us what to do. Git is very friendly, it tells us exactly what to do. So we are going to copy this link and we are going to type it right here. Okay. Or the other way is to press here compare and pull request, which is going to do basically the same. As you can see, same thing. Now what does it mean? Pull request. Now we are going to make a request to the owner of the project in here, the real owner of the project, and we are going to tell him, hey, I made a change and I want you to review my code, I want you to review my feature, my bug or whatever, and I want you to merge it to the main project. And this is what we are doing in this pull request. So as you can see, we're going to merge the changes from test to master, from test in our own fork to the master in the real project. Now we are going to write some comments here. This is the changes that we did. And after we are going to press create pull request, it's going to create a pull request in here. Now, since it's not my project, I'm not going to do that, but it's going to appear here in the open pull requests. If we are going to go and check the closed pull requests, we can see here some other people who made changes. Let's go to here. So for example, this one created a branch named Russian. He did some changes. He opened a pull request. We can see who is reviewing the code in here. We can see that he approved the changes and he merged the changes. So now the changes of this guy is appearing in the main project. And this is basically what's going to happen when we are going to create a pull request. Someone is going to review your code and you are going to make changes in the project. So now you know how to make your first contribution, how to make your first commit to open source. Go and do that. And before I finish this video, I want to give you another tip, which is everything you do in Git, first of all, create a backup to your project. When you learn Git, you don't know what Git is doing. Git is a very powerful tool, and if you don't know how to use it, you can lose all your projects, all your code, and all your changes. And it happened to me. Believe me, you don't want it to happen to you. It's very frustrating. So avoid this and make backups, make a zip file of your projects. So thank you for watching, and watch this video on how to pick projects for open source. Go and make your first commit. Thank you. See you later.